Hey YouTube, it's Sean with Griffin RC Planes. I hope you guys enjoyed those couple quick videos I had of my Kyosho Nitro monster truck, the Mad Crusher. I got a video coming out either Sunday night or Monday morning of me running that this weekend. So I hope you guys will enjoy that. It was the first time in over a year. In this episode, we're going to continue on with our Tower Hobbies Uproar version 2 build. We'll get the control horns mounted for the elevator and get the push rods installed. And then in an episode after that, we'll install some servos. Hey, if you're new to this channel and any of my videos have helped you out in any way, or just given you a little bit of entertainment, please click subscribe and click like. That really means a whole lot to me, and that's how this whole YouTube deal operates. It's how the algorithm works. If people like it, then it's advertised to other people, and then it just chain reacts and can get bigger. You know, this coming Tuesday will be 4 weeks since I said I'll give this plane away once we hit 1,000 subscribers. And I said that because there was 1,000 people a week watching these videos, but out of 1,000, 2 would subscribe. So next Tuesday or Wednesday we'll do a video on our report card, and that way I'll show you guys everything, who's watching, who's not watching, where they're watching from, how they're watching. It's really cool. I mean, I know if you're seeing this on if you're using an iPad or an iPhone or a Samsung phone with the Android system, or if you're using a Fire TV stick, or if you're using Apple TV, or if you got a Vizio Smart TV, I mean, I can tell who's watching, what, when, where, and how. What times, just all kinds of stuff. Age groups, just everything. And that's all information that I can use to get better. You know, that's why I'm putting out a mixture of all these videos, so that at the end of a couple months I can see what people are interested into, about how long they watch. You know, we'll go over a whole lot more of that the beginning and middle of next week, once the 4 weeks completes. Hey, let's work on our Uproar. Okay there, ladies and gentlemen. So I got the hardware out. We're going to mount 2 control horns on each elevator half. There's a total of 2 push rods and 1 servo. I'll show you how all that connects when we get up there to the servo. But in the directions, the first step is, it says make both elevator push rods the same as you would make the ailerons. Thread the clevis on, blah blah blah. But then it says make each of them 22¼ inches. So before we start cutting things, let's put them in and see what they look like, because we might not cut them yet, just in case we want to do something different in the servo bay, you know. Here they are coming through into the servo bay. And they're definitely long, which we will cut them. Then I'm looking at where they're coming through to the elevator. Let me get one of the horns out here. So here's one of the horns. The picture shows that they're on an angle, okay? But that just doesn't line up to me. So I read through the directions and I didn't see anything where it said to bend the push rods, okay? Because when we put the horns on there, the push rods just don't line up. All right, now the directions. Their picture looks like they line up, but they don't. So I read through and I couldn't find anything where it said to bend these, but that's just what we're going to do. And I'll make the bends out about here. That way when they're moving, the bend doesn't happen, you know, when it's inside the push rod tube. I'm going to get a tape measure out and cut these things. It says, once again, it says 22 1/4. I think we'll cut them at 23 for right now, and I'll make sure before I cut them. All right, so we got tape measure out. One end is threaded, one end is not. Obviously, we're going to cut the end that does not have threads on it. Right now, they're 27 1/2. And they say 22 1/4. So let's just cut them here at 23 for right now. Make sure that's about 23. Yep, it's right at 23. So then we'll cut the other one to match. All right, we got them cut. Now look here. Now you got 2 extra pieces for a future project, or if we want to redo the ailerons or something. So good things to hang on to. Keep this stuff around, you know, put it in your RC airplane junk drawer or organized or whatever. You know, you start collecting this stuff, you know, again, and again. Pretty soon you got all kinds of stuff to work with. So we just need to mount our horns, and then we can make our bends accordingly. Well, let me show you my little light trick to show you what kind of room we have to work with here. Can you see how much, you know, you can see through that part, and then you can see we got wood. So I'm going to take these little stickers. I don't know where I got these at. They're like price tag stickers for a garage sale or something. And I'm just going to mark where the wood kind of ends. See, that's all, you know, nothing's there, see-through basically, just film. And then you can see the wood right in this area. So I'm going to make a mark on both sides. I'm just taking these little price tag sheets. I'm folding them in half so it doesn't stick all the way down. You know, I got an edge to lift up on, and on the other side. Okay, so now I know that we've got this area to work with in both of them. So let's figure out where we're gonna mount our horn. Okay, one last look here. So when the push rods are coming through the push rod tube back here to the elevators, they're not quite lining up with the control horn like the book picture is showing. But that's just typical RC airplane. You know, these things were called models a long time ago, so we got to do some modeling. Not that kind of modeling. So we want to keep our bend, you know, to as minimal as possible, but we do need to place the control horn where it can flex like it's supposed to. This edge right here on the front of the horn, you don't want it to go past the you know, the center dividing here where it flexes, or the horn will hit. So we need to have it about right there, as far forward as we can go. We know we got to be in this area because we got the sticker marks this the cutoff point. So looking at it, about right there is where I feel we need to mount it. So we're going to put one screw in it and then measure it so we can get the other side the same. And I got out what's called a pin vise or a hand twist drill, or this is a HSS twist drill. And I got a drill bit, and then I have a pin, and I'm just going to mark where I want to put the first hole. There's a mark there that I can see it. You guys probably can't. And we're just going to put one hole in it. And then we'll run one screw through it and see what it looks like, and we can twist it a little bit if we need to. At that point, it's already through. See what it looks like on the other side. Right there. See, it poked up some of the covering as well. So the screws that came with it are obviously the same as the ones for the aileron, and they weren't long enough for that, for the aileron, so I'm gonna just run a screw through by itself, and we'll see how long it is, if it is long enough or not. Make sure all these are the same here. Yep. All right. That's how much we have left. Let's see if you guys can see that or not. Right there. It's going to be close. Let's run the screw through one of the horns, and then we'll take a look again. See if you guys get a better shot here. Trying to figure out all these angles. What's best for you? What's best for me? This is one mounted on my chest, kind of like wearing a backpack backwards. I thought it was better than on my head because I was constantly trying to get the angle right on my head to focus where my my eyes are focusing, and that was hard. So I think I need a camera that's like on some sunglasses or something, so it's looking exactly where I'm looking. I don't know, we'll figure it out. So we have one screw mounted. You can see that the control horn is right where it needs to be, where it's not going to hit. I think we'll leave it just like that, and we just need to get the other side to match perfectly. So let's go ahead and drill our other hole. I'm looking at the drill the entire time. Let's do it right there. about the time that I think that I need to put this drill bit on a drill is when it pokes through. It really doesn't take all that long at all. There it is. Alrighty. Get the other screw going. We're still going to run some CA down the hole and all that to harden it up, but this is for now. Okay, there's one. Now we need to figure out how to get the other one just like that. Now, I think the push rods are not exactly perfectly straight, so we can't go by that. But maybe we can go by that if I put the push rod from the side we just did into this side, because we know they were bent about the same. So we'll just see what it looks like here. I think I might get my micrometer out and make a measurement from this point to the center of this screw and then up. Or I might take some paper and trace the wing, or we might just eyeball it. You know, the trim we can, or making the rods equal, we can do that by the threads here or where it connects to the servo. So that's not the end of the world if this one is sitting, you know, back or forward just a hair more. But it would be nice to get them exact. Let me think on this for a second. All right, so what I came up with is I set the other horn, you know, in place, and then I took a micrometer, and I didn't pay attention to the digital reading. I just measured from the center of that screw to this lip. Let me get some point. To the lip right here, not in the center where the hinge is, but right there where the covering comes up. Right about there. And then I set the horn on here and kind of eyeballed it the same distance from here to the horn, where they're starting to kind of look similar. And then I brought the micrometer down and measured it, and I came up with that. So that's what we're going to go with. Too late now. I can't wait to go fly this thing. I haven't flown in probably, well, that little bit with the Beaver, or not the Beaver, the UMX Timber, a couple weeks ago in the evening, just for a few minutes. But other than that, it's been a month. I'm ready to get out. And I just looked at the weather for tomorrow. I said, boy, I sure hope it warms up. And it's going to warm up to like 50, but it said like 14 to 20 mile an hour wind. So I'm like, dang, you know, I can't catch a break at all. All right, so we got a hole, we got a horn, and we got a screw and a screwdriver. Put that guy like that. Now we just need to get them fairly turned the same way. Let's get the push rods in there. I'm just kind of thinking to myself, that's why I'm quiet. Eyeballing it, and kind of, I'm eyeballing it, and I'm looking at this part right here to see where it hits on the elevator here, and I'm hoping it lines up right around this edge here, and maybe it's like a hair over it. So now I'm looking at this one, I'm seeing it's way in front of that one, so it either needs to go in or out. Right there's about the same. You guys tell me. Well, I wish you could talk back at times, you know. Looks like it's turned more than the other one. All right, I'm gonna think and make an executive decision. Well, the same tool that I used to measure that inside screw, we're going to use it to measure the outside as well. That's what took me so long to think about was, hey, why don't we use the same method we did on that one? So the outside center of the screw to that edge right there. Right there, we're going with it. Make sure I didn't bump it. We're going with it, guys, going with it. Holding my fingers underneath it as I'm drilling, and I can feel the drill bit come through and put a little pressure there. That'll keep from poking the covering out real bad. You know, you're not going to drill a hole through your finger when you're twisting it yourself. Like, I can feel it poking through right now. It hasn't broke through the covering all the way yet, but I feel it. There it is. So it's through. Well, no turning back now. We're golden. We're going to pull the screws out. Oh, let's make sure they're long enough. And put some glue in them holes. Can you tell I'm single? We're going to take the screws out and then run some CA glue in there. You know, keeping the CA glue in the refrigerator, the little tiny tip, the applicator tip, it's reusable. I just checked it right now before I turned the camera back on, and glue was coming out of it from, I mean, right now from last time. Not keeping it in the fridge, it would have glued itself closed, you know, and I'd have to get another tip. And after you take the tip on and off a few times, then the bottle gets messed up and it makes it hard to put an applicator tip on it. And eventually then you got to start cutting the bottle to where you can get an applicator tip on it, or taking a razor blade and scraping the dried glue off of it, and eventually the bottle's in bad shape. And that's why some of them come with an extra cap to screw onto the glue just to put the applicator tip on it. So keep them in the fridge is really good. Well, I missed big time right there. All right, you gotta be quiet. That's how you get it in there. All right. being that it's moving doesn't help. Try to rest my hand on it to hold it, and then it's moving. That was brilliant. Brilliant. Let's try this side. I can kind of hold the elevator up with one finger and bounce it with another one. All right, got some drops down there. Got some drops down there, get some drops on the cover, and got drops all over the place. Alrighty, flip it over. Get our horn screwed back down. Alright. I'm sure they're out there, but an electric screwdriver this size would be really cool. You know, one you hold just like this and then have a little button somewhere. It doesn't have to be very strong, not very fast. If you guys know where a screwdriver is like that, let me know. I'd like to try to get my hands on one. Those don't need to be all the way tight. We've got to put the bottom on. Alright, so I'm going to try to just hold the bottom up. First I'm going to get them on there, and then I can back them out to where the plate starts coming up, sitting flush, and then I'll try to drive the screws down into the plate. This one's not feeling like it, doesn't feel like it's lining up. Yes, it is. All right. I feel it's starting to poke through the backing plate now, so that's good. All right, that one's golden. Let's get this guy down in there also. Be very quiet. Oh yeah. Alrighty. Now we're cooking with some glue on my finger to the bottom of the elevator. It won't run these all the way down this time. Almost glued my finger again. It's out, and let's CA glue wanted to get a hold of my finger. You guys see that? Top one started. Bottom one started.
We're going to try my headlight again. Hopefully it works out. I got the camera settings right. What we ended up with here is a little mountain of CA glue pushed through. That's why the backing plate wouldn't sit level. So I'm just going to try to gently cut it off. Screw is right there. There's that one. Now let's see if it looks better. Let's see what it's going to do here. All right, that one started. That one is started. And I'm not left-handed, but we'll try it. Getting closer. Not quite there. Let me reevaluate with my right hand. Gonna cheat a little bit. Make a little concave. Hang off there. Oops, almost punctured a hole in the wing. Just like I almost punctured I did puncture that little bucket of spackle. I had to switch to the flathead side of the bit driver because the Phillips part of the screw was starting to wear out. We used it so many times. All right, so we persuaded it. Now it looks a whole lot better. All right, so we got both elevator control horns mounted. They're both flush on the backing plate finally. Just had a little bit of glue build up, plus where the drill bit pushed through, and it just happened. You know, it's not the end of the world, no big deal. We fixed it. I enjoyed playing with it, and that part of the job's done. All right, so we got our Dubro Easy Threader 3-in-1 installation tool, which is this plastic little cap that probably cost a penny, and they're making a fortune off of Such a brilliant idea. They come with a screw in them. I took the screw out so we can put the clevis in the little holder right here. And then we just need to thread them onto the rod about halfway down or so we can have room to adjust in both directions. Pair of needle nose here to hold it, and we'll just get to screwing them on down. The thread ends right where the needle nose is right now, so we'll run the rod to about here where the screwdriver is. That way we can back it in and out that much for adjustment. Okay, so we're about to, right here, we'll go ahead and go to that line. That's probably in the middle. There, the thread ends right where the needle nose are, and then the rod's about to here. So there's actually a little bit more in here, so we've got room to bring it out. And then we'll do the same to the other side. We'll take this little screw out. Take that dude out. Drop the clevis into the $1 million tool. Get it started. All right, where were we? Putting our tool. Yep, the $1 million piece of plastic. This is a pin, you know, this reminds me like a pin cap. And I bet one of the people over at Dubro, which are, God, genius, old school guys, man. They remind me of the Night Flyer that has a YouTube channel. You guys need to find him if you can. It's called Night Flyer. And this guy is an OG RC airplane guy. He is something, man. And just to hear him talk and talk about the days before gyros, and then watch him fly his helicopters with no gyro and stuff, he's top notch. And anyway, one of them guys at Dubro were probably sitting around, you know, playing with a pin cap or something, and then they had a clevis in their hand. He stuck it in there and he did something, and he's like, yep, we'll call it the Easy Threader. We'll sell it for $8 and we'll make $7.99 profit per unit. Yep, that big old house in Beverly Hills, you know, that, yeah, well, that's his. All right, so clevises are on the rods. We just need to put the rod in the push rods and connect them to the to our mounted control horns. Oh, and get our bend figured out. We might pull it back out so we can bend them side by side and make sure the bends are, you know, the same. I'm gonna get a marker. Okay, so I got a marker to mark the rod where I want the bend to go. And just for grins, if it went that far, then the bend would have to be no farther up than that. So put a mark. I'm gonna pull it out and put a small bend in it, and then check it. That small bend might be too much of a bend already. Let's put a screw in it and see what it looks like. That bend might be okay right there. Kind of hard to get it started because there we go, just because of the bend. All right, so it almost needs a ball joint right there, you know it? Get it screwed in. It kind of popped out, but I think we'll bend the other one just like it. And maybe if we could get a little, it almost needs a, instead of like a, you know, one bend, it almost needs two bends, out and then back in. I think that's what we need to do. That is exactly what we need to do. So we need to get the screw out. And figure out where, whichever we get the screw out. And then figure out where we're going to put the second bend. Maybe that far up. This is where it's going to get kind of tricky. That, and then it needs to go away from us a hair. There we go. Like a Z shape almost. Just like that. Alright, it's going to be a little tricky to... Gonna have to bend the second one backwards. Okay, that's where the small bend. Well, I'm thinking, you know, when I get quiet, we're thinking. It needs to be way up. Okay. So just a little one right there. Now it doesn't look the same. Okay. And then the next one needs to be right there. Next one needs to be right there. Making sure here. Okay. Yeah, we'll see here, guys. We'll see. that started. All right, we got it started. So there's that one. That looks good and works good. And then here's this one. The first bend needs to come out a little bit more. Plus this rod was kind of tweaked on its own already, you know. All right. Adjust it like that. I like that. That'll work. Yeah, the other one was, one of them's bent just a little more than the other, I think. Well, we'll just see what happens. We might just keep this like it is and enjoy it, or we might end up putting some ball joints back here and straightening them out a little bit. We'll just kind of see as time goes on. It's a, you know, like I've said many times, over half of this hobby is working on them, and I call it fiddling. All right, guys, elevator push rods are installed. The horns are mounted. The next step is the servo, and we got to do the same rod for the rudder. Maybe we can't, but if you did dual servos, that'd be some kind of a crazy maneuver, huh? Awesome.
Elevator push rods and control horns are mounted. We'll have to see how those custom bends work out when we get to the servo installation section. But that's all for this episode. Like I said earlier, if any of these videos have helped you out or just given you a little entertainment, I'm just simply showing you guys how I do things. I'm giving back. I learned a lot about this hobby from watching YouTube, and I want to give back. So if you've learned anything or gotten a little bit of entertainment and you haven't subscribed, please do. It means a whole lot. And click that like button and share them with your friends. Don't forget, I'm giving this jet away, and this next Wednesday, 4 days from now, we'll do our report card if we don't do it Tuesday night, and we'll go through all the numbers, and I'll explain why I want to give this jet away when I do. I want to mail it out before flying season starts, and you know we're a month away from that. So, okay, guys, thank you so much, and until next time, you'll see me here. Where's my thingy? There it is.